Good day, grade 7 learners. Today is our first lesson in arts. Lesson 1, Arts and Crafts of Ilocos Region and the Cordillera Administrative Region. Module 1, Arts and Crafts of Ilocos and Pangasinan. For our most essential learning competency, we will analyze elements and principles of art in the production of one's arts and crafts inspired by the arts of Luzon, and identifies characteristics of arts and crafts in specific areas in Luzon. Learning objectives: record the different elements and principles of art presented on the different arts and crafts of Ilocos and Pangasinan, and interpret the characteristics of arts and crafts of Ilocos and Pangasinan based on their culture and tradition. Before we start with our lesson, let's have first our pre-test. I have here a list of different artworks. Put a check after each artwork that you think you can also make. You can check more than one item. We have here paper cutting, weaving, painting, sculpture, and wood carving. These are the list of activities you will enjoy in this quarter. Now, let us have our recap. The following are pictures showing the different elements and principles of art. Determine what particular element or principle of art is shown in the picture below. Arrange the scrambled letters to form the correct word. You will be given 5 seconds to answer each items. Number 1. A path of a point moving through space. The correct answer is line. Number 2. Implies spatial form and is usually perceived as two-dimensional. And the correct answer is shape. Number 3. An element of art that gives a static and clearer view of the art. And the correct answer is color. Number 4. Refers to the relative lightness and darkness of color. And the answer is value. Number 5 is the perceived surface quality of a work of art. And the answer is texture. Number 6 refers to the repetition or reoccurrence of a design element. And the answer is pattern. Number 7 is the path the viewer's eye takes through the work of art. And the answer is movement. Number 8, it is about the relationship of the size of one element when compared to another. And the answer is proportion. Number 9 is the distribution of the visual weight of objects, colors, texture, and space. And the answer is balance. Number 10, it is called as the focal point of an artwork. And the answer is emphasis. Now that you already know the different elements and principles of art, you will be able to see how these elements are incorporated in the different arts and crafts of Ilocos and Pangasinan. First up is Vigan. Vigan is considered as the Intramuros of the North. It retains the Spanish colonial architecture along its narrow and cobblestone streets known as Calle Crisologo. It is established in the 16th century and is the best preserved example of a planned Spanish colonial town in Asia. Vigan is unique for having preserved much of its Hispanic colonial character. Its significance also lies on how the different architectural influences are blended to create a homogeneous townscape. Vigan represents a unique fusion of Asian building design and construction with the European colonial architecture and planning. Are you familiar with textile? A textile is a flexible material consisting of a network of natural or artificial fibers. Now that most fabrics are mass-produced with imported threads from overseas, textiles carefully hand-woven with Philippine cotton are becoming increasingly difficult to find. One of these textiles is the abel or inabel of the Ilocos region in northern Philippines. Inabel is a hand-weaving technique of the Ilocanos that is produced using traditional wooden looms. It comes in many designs, but one of the most recognizable pattern is the binakol. Traditionally, the Itneg tribe from northern Luzon made blankets in this design. They believed that evil spirits hovered overhead and preyed on sleeping souls. The blankets in the dizzying designs are believed would confuse and distract the evil spirits. This only proved that these textiles were not only made beautifully but also possessed significant meanings. As Vigan is known for its historic ancestral houses that illustrate a fusion of architecture from Spanish colonial time with Asian influences, the people of Vigan also exert great effort to preserve the tradition of making burnay. Pottery is an ancient art form, and in Ilocos, this tradition of molding unglazed earthen jars is called burnay. It was originally used to age vinegar, wine, and bagoong or fish paste. In Vigan, the clay is kneaded by a carabao before it goes to the potter's wheel, that is today still spun by foot. It is then shaped into jars, dried and fired in a kiln. These fragile pieces of art combine the elements of earth, water, wind, and fire that only expert agdamdamili or potter can only achieve. Next stop is Pangasinan. Pangasinan is also known for weaving textile. According to Jojo Reynosa in his article in Manila Bulletin, Bolinao, Pangasinan, while singing, writing, poetry, or even fetching water can win a woman's hand in old rural Philippines, in this town, a man courting a lady must before all else literally weave his way to her heart. To this day, much pride goes into the tradition of weaving mats from buri or raffia leaves in Bolinao. On Santiago Island, northeast coast of Bolinao, rests a small village called Salud, a peaceful barangay where most of its residents are dedicated to weaving the best buri mats, also known as the Bolinao Banig. Now that you already know the different arts and crafts of Ilocos and Pangasinan, we will be having set of activities for today. For every activity, you can use a different sheet of paper. Activity 1. Determine the element and principle of art present in the following crafts or artwork. Picture 1 is the architectural design of the houses in Calle Crisologo. Picture 2 are different design of textiles in Ilocos. Picture 3 are earthen jars known as burnay. Activity number 2, smile for the facts. Put a smiley if you agree with the following statements about the arts and crafts of Ilocos and Pangasinan. Number 1, the craftsmanship of people from a local area that shows their everyday life as they are handed down from one generation to another. Number 2, historical places were well preserved in remembrance of the rich history and culture of the place. Number 3, arts and crafts are made purposely to earn a lot of money. Number 4, a lot of time is rendered to intricately and aesthetically make each craft. Number 5, most crafts are not only made for display, but also made for various uses. Activity number 3, my weaving pattern. Using the template below, create your own weaving pattern. You can use different colors in your design. The arts and crafts of Luzon only shows how rich the Filipino culture in terms of textile, pottery, and other crafts. Crafts were continuously preserved up to the present time because of the endless effort of the Filipinos to live up the legacy left to them. For our exit card, I wanted you to write 3 things I have learned today, 2 things I like, and 1 question I have. Art documents events and experiences and allows us a richer understanding of history. Art reflects cultural values, beliefs, and identity and helps to preserve the many different communities that make up our world. On a day-to-day basis, we often forget how important these things to us. In that case, what can we do to preserve our own culture and tradition? Since face mask is a necessity nowadays, I wanted you to design your own face mask promoting the culture of Ilocos and Pangasinan. Let us now test your understanding of our lesson today. Number 1, known as the Intramuros of the North. A. Iloilo, B. Kalinga, C. Pangasinan, D. Vigan. And the answer is letter D, Vigan. Number 2, a hand-weaving technique of the Ilocanos that is produced using traditional wooden looms. A. Inabel, B. Binakol, C. Isabel, D. Vakul. And the answer is letter A, Inabel. Number 3, an unglazed earthen jar with small opening used for storage of different liquids and condiments. A. Ceramic jar, B. Pot jar, C. Burnay, D. Paso. And the correct answer is letter C, Burnay. Number 4, the arts and crafts of Pangasinan include the smoothly woven bulinaw mats made from what kind of leaves? A. Anahaw, B. Kamote leaves, C. Coconut leaves, D. Buri or raffia leaves. And the correct answer is letter D, Buri or raffia leaves. Number 5, refers to the repetition or reoccurrence of a design element, exact or varied, which establishes a virtual beat. A. Shape, B. Balance, C. Texture, D. Pattern. And the correct answer is letter D, pattern. Thank you! I hope you learned a lot today. See you on our next lesson!